to coach, green fields to ice, moments frozen, broken rules by vice. Everyone's a coach critic in the glow. From pixels, God rise and they fall below. Sports Talk Podcast in the dead of night, discussing games, breaking down the fight. Static home, opinions clash and roar. Every episode opens up a new door.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of Hashtag Truth Sports Talk. Let's get right down to it. I'm going to be going over my predictions for the 2024-2025 NFL season. I'm going to predict every division. I'm going to predict all the way through the playoffs. I'm going to predict all the way to the Super Bowl, and then I'm going to predict who's going to win the Super Bowl and what the score is going to be. How's everybody doing out there tonight, ladies and gentlemen? Alexander Polk, Mr. NASCAR himself. Alexander, hit me up. We might do some NASCAR here on Hashtag True Sports Talk Podcast. I'd love to have you on. He said, go Chiefs. Yes, sir. As you can see, I am wearing my Redskins hat. We are going to be having a great time today going over the NFL season show. We're gonna just have a great time. We're gonna talk all about the NFL. And if you guys want to follow along with what I'm doing, I went to profootballnetwork.com, clicked on tools. I went to the very first thing you could pick, which is the NFL season and playoff predictor. You go in there, you could predict all 17 weeks of the NFL season, the playoffs all the way through. That's exactly what I did. I'm going to be showing you my picks and everything at the end of the show and how it all came out, so you don't think I'm just doing this off the top of my head. I did go and pick the scores of every game, and I just had a good time doing it, ladies and gentlemen. But preseason is right around the corner, so if you are an NFL fan and you have an NFL team, do exactly what my good buddy Alexander did. Hit me up, say, hey, how you doing? And let me know what your favorite football team is in the NFL as you watch me predict the season. As like I said, the preseason is right around the corner. Let me go ahead and show you guys the schedule. I'm pretty sure if you're an NFL fan, you already know this. But, you know, being a podcaster, I like to put all the information out. The Hall of Fame game will be this Thursday, August the 1st on ESPN or ABC. It's going to be the Houston Texans versus the Bears. So you don't want to miss that one if you're a fan of either one of those teams. They're going to be starting off the preseason this year for the NFL. And then August 8th and 9th, which is Thursday and Friday. August 8th, the Panthers are going to be taking on the Patriots. The Lions taking on the Giants. Friday, August the 9th, the first game for these teams. The Dolphins are taking on the Falcons, the Steelers, and the Texans. This is the game I really want to watch, even though it's preseason. The Eagles and the Ravens, I think very highly of both of those teams this year. You will find that out shortly. And of course, we have the 10th and the 11th, which is Saturday and Sunday, full slate of preseason games coming up. My Commanders will be taking on the Jets at noon in New York. We're going to have a great time. So if you're coming in and you're watching the prediction show that I'm doing tonight, say hi, tell me who your favorite football team is, and let's talk NFL tonight. And then after we do my predictions, I'm going to be talking who I think are going to be the MVPs of the season. Alexander said, I'm actually happy for NFL season to start. Well, Alex, I am too. I am stoked. I'm not going to lie. I don't think my Commanders are going to do much. People might think that because I'm doing a prediction show that I'm probably going to have the Commanders winning the Super Bowl. No, I'm being realistic. I'm going to be totally realistic and biased through this whole thing. So let's get the whole thing started, shall we? Let's go right into the NFC. We're going to start off with the East, of course, because that's where my team is. And this is my predictions for the NFC East. I've got the Philadelphia Eagles winning the division at 12-5, the only team in the NFC East going to the playoffs. I know Dallas Cowboy fans are going to hate me, but I had to be realistic when I did the scores for every game, and this is what it came out to be. The Eagles, I think, are going to go 12-5. I think Jalen Hurts is going to have a pretty good season, maybe even an MVP season, but we'll talk about that later in the show. Dak and them just ain't going to get it done again this year. It's going to be another 7-10 season. My Commanders, even though they made a lot of changes from the front office all the way down to the coaching staff to the team. I think this first year it's going to be growing pains, and I predict a 5-12 season. I'm going to be heartbroken for most of the season. I'm already setting myself up for it, but I'm going to enjoy myself. I still have fantasy football to look forward to. And, of course, we got the Giants coming in at 3-14. The Giants are, in my opinion, doing a real they're doing a rebuild without a doubt. Ben Wright said the Dirty Birds are going to go 8-8. Well, we're going to find out here in just a second what I think. We're going to go through all the divisions as the NFC East. As you can see, I've got the Eagles at 12-5, the only team going to the playoffs. Let's go to the North. The NFC North, I have the Detroit Lions at 14-3. I think Detroit is going to improve on their season from last year. They had a dominant season last year. Their defense stepped up. Their offense with Goff was on point. I think it's going to be on point again this year. I see Detroit going 14-3. The Bears and the Packers are going to be middle at 9-8. Neither team is going to make the playoffs. And we're going to have, I think, Minnesota, new quarterback, new team, everything. I think they're going to go 6-11, and they're going to be at the bottom of the heap again. The only team in this division that's going to the playoffs, in my opinion, is going to be the Detroit Lions. Let's go to the NFC South. The NFC South is going to be pretty close all through the year. This is a really hard this is one of the hardest fought divisions in football, but I've got only one team here going, well, maybe, oh, wait a minute. The way it plays out, I think Atlanta goes to the playoffs here too. But I've got the Buccos going 10-7, the Dirty Birds going 9-8. I've got the Saints going 7-10, and the Panthers still in a rebuild, going 7-10. Also, this is a pretty close division in the NFC, but as you can see, I've got Atlanta and the Buccos battling it out for the top, and I think the Buccos are going to get them by a game. Let's go to the NFC West, the last division. And here I've got the 49ers going 10-7. I think they're going to have a good season. Not as good a season as they had last year. Alexander Polk said, I do see Green Bay making the wild card. It's possible. Anything's possible. Their quarterback just got, Mr. Love, just got a 4-year, $220 million contract with a $75 million signing bonus, making him the highest paid quarterback of all time. So big things are expected out of them, but I think they're going to go 9-8. And this division is a tight division, except for, of course, the Cardinals. I don't think the Cardinals are going to have a good year at all. If their quarterback gets hurt at all, they're definitely going to be a washout. I've got the Arizona Cardinals at 3-14. All right. So that was the NFC. We've got the Eagles, the Lions, the Buccos, and I think Atlanta, and the San Francisco 49ers, I believe, going to the playoffs. I'll be showing the playoffs here in just a second. But now we're going to go over to the AFC. If you guys are on here and you got a favorite team, hit me up with your favorite team. If you think your team's going to make the playoffs, give me a prediction like good old Ben did. He thinks the I said Hawks. Listen to me. That's basketball. I'm jumping all around. He thinks the Atlanta Dirty Birds are going to go 8-8. Well, they play 17 games, so they're probably going to go 8-9 or 9-8. I agree with that wholeheartedly. All right, let's go to the AFC, where I've got the Buffalo Bills winning the AFC East 12-5. The Dolphins and the Jets being 9-8. And oh, how the mighty have fallen. I've got the Patriots at the bottom of the division, not making the playoffs at 6-11. The AFC North. Oh my goodness. This is going to be the division of all divisions, ladies and gentlemen. I know I've got the Steelers at 6-11, but let me tell you, this division, this could be one division that all four teams make the playoffs. It could be that kind of year. I've got the Browns and the Bengals at 11-6. I've got the my gosh, my mind just went totally blank, man. I got the Birds out of Maryland going 10-7, and I've got the Steelers at 6-11. Yeah, I know they're the Baltimore Ravens. I know a few people who are going to yell at me for that, but that's okay. Going 6-11. This is going to be, like I said, any of them, maybe all four of them make the playoffs. But the way it shook out with my predictions, the only team that didn't make the playoffs here was the Steelers. And the AFC South, I've got the Texans going 11-6. I've got the Indianapolis Colts going 10-7. The Jaguars going 9-8. And Tennessee going 6-11. Tennessee, again, I don't think they're going to have a really good season. The Texans and Indy, in my opinion, are going to be the two teams battling it out for this division. And last, but certainly not least, the AFC West. You can't help but say the Kansas City Chiefs. I got them at 13-4. I've got the Raiders of Las Vegas going 9-8. The Chargers going 7-10. And the Broncos. The poor Broncos, man. They haven't had a good quarterback since Elway left. Their offense hasn't been in stride since Elway left. I'm hoping that they can turn things around, but I don't see it happening this year. I see the Broncos going 4-13 and being at the bottom of the AFC West. Alexander said, save the best for last. That's just the way it fell, man. That's just the way it fell. You're going to want to stick around for the whole thing, Alex. I think you're going to love the way this thing ends. At least my prediction wise anyway. So there you have it. That is the AFC. Let's go back again one more time. I've got the Buffalo Bills winning the division at 12-5. The East, I've got a two-way tie in the North, the Browns and the Bengals, with the Ravens right behind them at 10-7. Like I said, this division right here, I think might have four teams that make the playoffs. It could happen. It really could happen. Ron Emerson said, dude, they just won a championship with Manning. Well, it is what it is, bro. The AFC South, I've got, again, the Texans going 11-6, barely edging out the Indianapolis Colts at 10-7, and right behind them are the Jacksonville Jaguars at 9-8. And then in the West, yeah, Kansas City is just Kansas City right now is a dynasty. And I know I'm a Commanders fan. I love my Commanders. I hope they have a really good season. But if you're not looking at Kansas City as the dynasty of today and probably of the next few years, you're pretty much crazy. There you have my predictions for that. The Broncos beat the Panthers in the Super Bowl a few years ago. It don't matter. The Broncos don't have a quarterback, man. The Broncos haven't had a good offense in a few years. I don't see them going anywhere. But Ron, you're more than welcome to put your predictions up here. I love this, man. Tell me how you feel. Ron and a few others are doing it, guys. This is what this show is all about. This is just predictions. You never know what could happen, man. So let's go right into the wild card rounds, show you what I've got for my wild card rounds and how it plays out. Again, I will show you all this from the website that I did, and I'll show you that all this is legit. This is the let's go with the AFC wild card round. This is the AFC wild card round as I predicted it. I've got Baltimore playing Buffalo in the first round, in the wild card round. I've got Baltimore in an upset, beating the Bills at home in the first round of the wild card. Second game, I've got the Colts going into Cleveland. I think Cleveland's going to have a great year this year. They're starting to really build a great team and a lot of momentum. And I've got them beating Indianapolis at home in the wild card round. And of course, the last game that I have predicted is the Bengals going into Texas. And I think the Texans are just going to be too much to handle. This is going to be a close game, a very close game. I've got Texans by 2 points beating the Cincinnati Bengals right there. So let's go right over to the NFC wild card round. In that round, I've got Atlanta playing the Eagles at home. You're not going to beat the Eagles at home in the first round of the playoffs. It's just not going to happen. The Eagles are going to dominate. This will probably be like a 17-point win for the Eagles. Second game, I've got the LA Rams playing San Francisco. You're not going to beat San Francisco at home either. Good luck with that. Not in the playoff games, at least not the Rams. I've got San Francisco winning by about 7 points. And then the last NFC wildcard game that I've got going in is Seattle is going to go up against the Tampa Bay Bucks. And I think Tampa Bay is going to squeak that one out by 3 points. So here's what the AFC championship round is going to look like. It's going to be Baltimore versus Kansas City. Kansas City is going to take it all the way. I predict a 14-point win by Kansas City in the divisional round. And then I've got Cleveland going all the way to the championship game this year. If they stay healthy, if their 2 running backs stay healthy, they will be in the championship game against KC. But like I said, KC is a powerhouse. As long as Mahomes stays healthy, this team will be in the Super Bowl, and that's what I'm predicting. KC beats Cleveland by a touchdown at Kansas City to go to the Super Bowl. And in the NFC Championship round, I've got Tampa Bay playing Detroit. Detroit's going to be too much for Tampa Bay if they stay healthy. This is all if they stay healthy. Detroit wins by 14 against Tampa Bay, in my opinion. San Francisco is going to go into this is going to probably be the playoff game of the year. San Francisco will go into Philadelphia at 2 and 3 seed going at it. I've got Philadelphia squeaking out a 2-point lead. San Francisco missing a field goal at the last second. This is going to be one of them games that you're going to see for years to come on ESPN in my prediction. Bobby Lee, what's going on, Bobby? We are doing our predictions for the upcoming football season. Glad to see you on here for episode number 1 of #True Sports Talk Podcast. And I've got Detroit. No, that's not a misprint, folks. I've got Detroit beating Philly. As Philly has to go to Detroit. That dome is going to be wild. That dome is going to be loud. I've got Detroit winning 17-16 to go to the Super Bowl. Yes, you heard it right here. I might be wrong, but if you don't think so, let me know who you think is going to go to the Super Bowl next year, because I have Detroit playing Kansas City in the Super Bowl, and this is my final score. Kansas City keeps the dynasty up and roaring. Another MVP for Mr. Patrick Mahomes. And 33-13, I've got Kansas City winning it all. What do y'all think about that? Am I close? Am I way off? What? Let me hear from you guys. If you guys don't see this live, let me know in the comments after you guys watch it. But that is my prediction from day one all the way down to the Super Bowl. I've got Kansas City winning it again. Alexander Polk, I knew he'd love it. I didn't do it for Alexander. I honestly think that Kansas City is not going to be beat. This is a dynasty, folks. And if you don't think so, you don't know football at all. These guys, unless, like I said, anything can happen in the NFL. Mahomes could get injured. I don't wish that on anybody. But if Mahomes stays healthy and most of the team stays healthy, I see Kansas City having no problem, again, going through the whole shebang and winning the Super Bowl. I think Detroit's going to have a very good season this year. Of course I do, because I've got them going to the Super Bowl, but I just don't think they're going to have enough to beat Kansas City with what they got. Luke Childers, how you doing? And welcome to hashtag Truth Sports Talk Podcast. As you, if you missed it, go back and watch as I predicted all of the divisions of the NFL all the way up to the Super Bowl. And this is what I think the Super Bowl is going to be and the score of the Super Bowl. Alexander says, remember when Mahomes winning the Super Bowl against Philly with a hurt ankle? Yes, of course. I mean, if he plays at all, Kansas City's going to win, in my opinion. But let's talk a little bit MVP before I get out of here. I got about 8 minutes. I'm going to make this a 30-minute episode. I'm happy for everyone that's showing up today. Thank you for showing up and talking NFL with me. If you got a favorite team out there and you're watching me do this, give me a hashtag with your favorite team. Mine would be hashtag Commanders or hashtag Redskins, of course. But as you can see, I wasn't being biased. I've got my Commanders at 5-12 this year. They're a new team. I really don't see them going anywhere. If they win more than 5 games, they will. I'll be totally shocked and totally pleased. I definitely don't see them going to the playoffs, but they're moving in the right direction, though. New quarterback, new coaches, new emphasis on winning in Washington. Me and a million fans will never be happy until they give us our Redskins name back, but can't have everything, I guess. But let's talk MVP. And of course, my opinion, when you talk MVP before the season starts, the only MVPs you can really pick at this point are quarterbacks. So my 3 picks are all going to be quarterbacks. They're all going to have good seasons this year. Now, again, during the regular season, things can change. Quarterbacks can get injured. A wide receiver, a running back, a linebacker per se might come up and just blow the world up with a great season. But, it's pretty safe to pick 3 quarterbacks who you think might be the MVP. And these are my 3 picks. Patrick Mahomes is always, as long as he's healthy, he's always going to be in the MVP talk. No doubt about it. Jared Goff, of course, I picked Detroit to go to the Super Bowl. Jared Goff, as Jared Goff goes, so goes the Lions. That's what I'm thinking. If he has a good season and keeps the interceptions to a minimum and wins the games that they're supposed to win, I see Jared Goff and the Lions, again, going all the way to the Super Bowl to go up against Patrick Mahomes and his Kansas City Chiefs. And Jalen Hurts. In my opinion, and in my humble opinion, I think Jalen Hurts, and people are going to be, oh my God, he's better than Patrick Mahomes. Yes, my opinion is Jalen Hurts, when he is going right, when he is completely healthy, he can run with the football. He can pass the football. His intelligence on the field and the way he does everything, I think Jalen Hurts could be the MVP, no doubt. They're definitely going to take the NFC East. If they don't, like I said, there's going to be a lot of injuries. The injury bug will hit the Eagles hard. That'd be the only way that the Eagles don't totally take the NFC East. It's going to be a great season, ladies and gentlemen. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing all these teams battle. It's coming up this week, without a doubt. I can't wait. Like I said before, Thursday, we're going to watch the Texans and the Bears start it all off in the Hall of Fame game on ESPN, 8 o'clock. On the 8th, we're going to see the Panthers play the Patriots, the Lions play the Giants, the Falcons and the Dolphins. The one game I'm going to be watching that I'm going to have a great interest in is the Eagles and the Ravens Friday night at 7:30. I even though it's going to be their second string, I think that's going to be the best game of the first week of the preseason. And then, of course, you got Saturday the 10th is most of the teams will be playing. My Commanders will be playing the Jets in New York. Can't wait to see that game. And then on Sunday, you got Dallas playing the Rams and all these other games. Ladies and gentlemen, I have had a blast here today going over my predictions. I hope you enjoyed it too. If you'd like to see something talked about on hashtag Truth Sports Talk Podcast, hit me up. We'll do a show about almost anything in sports. The NFL season's coming up. Baseball's in full swing. I'll be doing something on baseball probably next week. We've got hockey coming back around. We got basketball coming back around. A lot of sports. I'm going to be doing the 4 major sports and college football. I'm really excited for the college football season this year too. My Navy team isn't going to be very good again, probably, but it's going to be fun to see who wins. The playoffs are being expanded to 12 teams now, so there's going to be a real playoff situation in college football. I'm looking forward to that. Tell me down below in the comments after you watch this who your favorite college football team is. Who do you think is going to win the college football championship? And who do you think is going to win the NFL Super Bowl this year? You saw who I picked, and that's all I really have to say today, man. I'm glad for everybody showing up. I want to thank everyone, Ben Wright, Alexander Polk, Ron Emerson, Bobby Lee, Luke Childers, all of you guys for showing up for my first show. I really appreciate it. And we will see you next week. I think I'm going to be doing some Major League Baseball stuff, but you never know. I might just do a news show and talk about all the sports. I haven't figured it out yet, but I hope you guys enjoyed watching the show. I had a great time going over my predictions. Again, if you're just now watching it, go to the bottom of the screen, hashtag your favorite NFL football team, hashtag your favorite college football team, hashtag your favorite baseball, basketball, any team that you are following or a big fan of. And if you'd like to see hashtag True Sports Talk Podcast, talk about anything sports related, you got an idea for a show, hit me up and we'll see about making a show all about that. Until then, we'll see you guys later. Have a great day, and I hope the Commanders at least win the 5 games I predicted they win, and that is the hashtag truth. We'll see you guys next week.